In this video, I'm going to share the simple system that I designed for implementing and keeping habits over the long run. I've spent years reading all the books about habits, how to start them, how to keep them, and how to break bad ones. And I've tested all the methods from optimizing my environment around triggers, giving myself rewards, redesigning my routine. You name it, I've tried it. But nothing, and I mean nothing, has worked remotely as well as the system that I'm going to share with you today. And not only is it easy to implement, it makes keeping good habits and breaking bad habits effortless. I call it the ATW system, and it's broken down into 3 parts: accountability partner, time frame, and wager. And with the right mix of all 3, you've got a system that will help you break bad habits, implement good ones, and maintain them for as long as you wish. So first, let me break down each element, and at the end I'll explain how they all interlink so that you could successfully implement the ATW system for yourself. The first element, the A in ATW, stands for accountability partner. And it's probably not the first time you've heard about having an accountability partner in relation to habits, and there's a good reason for it. Because accountability is all about being held responsible for your actions. But there are 2 types of accountability, and it's important to understand the difference between the 2. The first is internal accountability, which is all about being accountable to yourself. You make a personal commitment to accomplish something, and then you plan out the actions it will take to achieve the goal. But the problem is we're all fallible. We have bad days, we get lazy, we procrastinate, and when we fail, we usually look for excuses rather than take personal responsibility. So what we really need is external accountability, and we do that with an accountability partner. That way we have someone else to report to help keep us focused and to ensure that we take full responsibility for what happens in our life. And this could be anyone. It could be a friend, a coworker, a family member. It just needs to be someone who is genuinely interested in helping you, someone who's going to help you stay focused, and someone who will hold you responsible for following through with your plans. This is the person that you're going to share all your habit goals with. You're also going to come up with a way to prove the completion of each habit. So maybe you'll send a photo or a video or a screenshot. That's up to you, and it depends on the habit, but you must prove that you've completed it, or else there's not really any use of having an accountability partner to begin with. This will play an important part in the system and will increase your chances of success by a large margin. But having an accountability partner on its own is not enough. You will also need a time frame, the second element, the T in the ATW system. And there's 2 important parts to this. The first is all about committing to a set period of time that you'd like to upkeep this habit at a bare minimum. It goes without saying that consistency is the only thing that matters when it comes to habits. If you do something long enough, it will stick, both good and bad. According to a 2009 study on habit formation, it takes an average of 66 days to make or break a habit. So by committing to a time frame, you're forcing the consistency required to make your habit stick. And choosing a time frame is really up to you. When I first started, I would commit to new habits for 30 days. Then eventually I worked my way to 90. And now I go even longer depending on my goals. For example, I've committed to uploading 1 YouTube video every week for the next 2 years. Some habits, like waking up early, can be changed within a few weeks because your body adjusts rapidly. But others, like maintaining a fitness routine, for example, could take 6 months because you really need to start seeing the physical changes to get addicted to it. What's important is that you select a time frame long enough that you're past the point of it naturally sticking, but short enough that it's still realistic for you. The second part of the time frame element is what I like to call daily resets. Many habit tracking systems encourage you to create a streak, so for every day that you successfully complete your habit, you mark an X on a piece of paper or something like that. But I never found that they worked. For one, when you miss a single day, you ruin your entire streak, which just makes you feel like and makes you think you're back at square one. But if you haven't smoked a cigarette in 19 days and then you smoke on the 20th, you haven't failed. You've only smoked 1 out of 20 days. And if you make it to the 40th day, you've been smoke-free for 39 out of 40 days. That's a success. So I don't believe we should keep track of streaks, but instead fill up as many days as we can in a given time frame. And what that means is no matter if you failed yesterday, tomorrow is always a new opportunity to start fresh. And that plays an important role in the next element, which is the W in the ATW system. The final and arguably most important part of this whole thing stands for wager. And it's all about using a cognitive bias called loss aversion to our advantage. Loss aversion implies that we hate losing more than we like winning. In other words, the joy of finding $20 is not equal to the dismay of losing $20. The principle was first identified by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman in a 1979 study that showed that we value losses 2.3 times higher than gains of the same value. See, loss aversion leads people to try to avoid losses whenever possible. So the wager aspect of the ATW system is all about taking advantage of this bias. It's about putting your money where your mouth is and having skin in the game. So for whatever your habit goal is, you're going to wager a certain amount of money in the case that you don't complete it. Unlike using rewards, which we tend to give ourselves anyway, regardless of our behavior, risking a loss is way more effective at keeping us on track. For my habits, I usually wager $5 to $10, but there's no perfect wager. All that matters is that it's enough to cause a little sting each time. You don't want to make it unrealistically high where you start lying to your partner, but it does have to be high enough that you feel the aversion to loss. Now, if you recall what I mentioned in the time frame section, streaks don't matter. Each day is a new day. And where that comes in is that it protects you from falling off the rails. When we rely on a streak to keep us motivated and we miss a day, we often just quit right then and there. But in this system, if you miss a day, you pay. And if you miss the next day, you pay again. So there's no room for giving up because until the time frame is complete, each day is reset. The point of the wager is to get you truly invested into your habits, and you will fail from time to time. You will have to pay up, but let me tell you, you'll have a hard time messing up for 2 days in a row, and that's what really matters. You're given no choice but to brush yourself off and get back on track. Alright, so now that you understand how all the elements work, I'm gonna put them together and show you how you could implement them for yourself. Let's say you wanna read for 20 minutes a day. You're willing to commit to 90 days, and for each day you miss, you'll pay $5. And by the way, with the average book being 300 pages long and the average reading speed being 250 words per minute, you'll finish a book in 18 days. So by reading only 20 minutes a day, you could finish 20 books in a year. That's pretty crazy, right? So anyways, you're gonna find a coworker, a friend, a family member, it doesn't matter, but you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna read a book for 20 minutes a day for the next 90 days. I'll prove it to you by writing a 5-sentence summary of what I read that day, and for each day that I miss, I will send you $5. Or maybe you have a bad habit like spending too much time on your phone. Exam season's coming up and you can't afford to procrastinate any longer on TikTok, so you wanna cut down your screen time to 1 hour per day. So you'll tell your accountability partner, hey, I'm gonna cut down my screen time to under 1 hour for the next 30 days, and for each day I go over, I'll send you $10. And in that case, every morning when you wake up, you could take a screenshot of yesterday's screen time and send it to them. If you go over, you send them $10. It's really as simple as that. You find someone to hold you accountable that you'll share your plan with, you commit to a set time frame, and you wager a certain amount of money towards the completion of your habits. The ATW system has been a game changer for my friends and I. It's gotten us to meditate for months on end. It's gotten us to work out consistently for over a year now, and it even helped him get his dream job at one of the world's biggest tech companies. The beauty of this system is that it doesn't rely on personal motivation, your past track record with keeping habits, or even your self-beliefs. It's designed to eliminate excuses, force long-term consistency, and even uses a cognitive bias to your advantage. And I guarantee that if you implement this with your own habits, you'll be shocked at how easy it is to maintain them over long periods of time, and you'll be amazed with the success you see with each and every one of them. So my question to you is, what's going to be your first ATW habit? Who are you going to use as an accountability partner? What time frame are you going to commit to? And what wager are you willing to place on it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.